I'm pumped because we had a couple of our team that was at the St. Louis event. Taylor even spoke on stage, so I'm super proud of her. And so I wanted to kind of pick their brains and see how it was, see what we missed, but also just talk to people about what we should be doing at the end of the month, and things like how far is too far? Like, are we close enough to still promote with 1 day and 3 hours left? Like, can we still do this? Because I remember not knowing, if I was close enough, like, could this really happen? And so I had to remember calling Erin and being like, okay, like, is this real? Like, should I do this? Can this really happen? So I'm gonna point a couple people out, call them, and kind of get their intake. Kayla, I'm starting with you. I'm gonna unmute you. Hello.
I literally just got home and just got out of the shower.
Well, you got home long enough ago to shower, so it's fine.
Yes.
Okay, so tell people like kind of who you are, what you do.
Okay, well, I'm a part of It Works. It's an amazing company. You should learn about it. That's great. But no, I am Kayla. I am a double diamond. I was just at the St. Louis event, you guys. It is so crucial. I know Kelsey's going to kind of ask us more questions about, why it's so crucial to go to events, but getting to events is incredible, you guys. You have to get to events. Being surrounded by like-minded women and and men too. And just the atmosphere of events is so important. I remember when I first started, I didn't quite understand that, and I didn't quite get why events were so crucial. And then I went to one and I was like, oh, okay, that's why. And, just being surrounded by so many positive, uplifting people that just want the best for you, it's incredible. So get your booty to events, number one. And what was the question?
Like, what was your aha moment at the event?
So something for me, I feel like I take away different things every time I go to an event. And that's why I love going to them, because it's not always the same. And I feel like, especially, as you continue with the company and you grow with the company and you start gathering a team and, you kind of climb the ranks, so to speak. I feel like you take away different things. And so for me, one thing that I really took away, Mira Dunning, she's incredible. And she was talking, she's extremely green, and I am not green at all. So she was talking about how she stays organized with her newbies. And after the event, Taylor and I kind of sat down with Anastasia and Caroline, and we had like a huge brainstorming sesh about, how we want to kind of take our newbie to Ruby trainings a little bit differently. And so I'm really excited to incorporate some of the things that she was talking about. And some of those things were pages that she does with her newbies, and she doesn't even like put them in the team pages yet. She just puts them in this like newbie to Ruby chat. Every day she's working with them, and it's less tedious than, having to do like 15 one-on-ones a day, because everyone in that chat is just solely going for Ruby. And especially too, our organizations and our charts, if you look at them, like the foundation of our charts are rubies, you guys. If you can build rubies, you can build to ambassador, because it's just laying that foundation of ruby upon ruby upon ruby. And so I think solidifying that for my team, and I know a lot of other teams out there too are looking for ways to incorporate kind of more newbie trainings. That was something that I took away of how she trains her newbies, and how she, really hones in on, giving them a Ruby chart right away, and not like stunting them just because they're a 400 box on her chart, really working with them to get them to where they want to go. And so I know for those of you who are new, we have an incredible page already called Beginners Bootcamp. And I know I want to start incorporating that page like into a chat that with our newbies, and kind of like going back and forth between that. So we've got some ideas rolling around, but that was the main thing that I took away from this event.
Mira is so awesome. I love her. I know. I always message her for green questions.
Because I'm like, I'm not a girl. Give me all the tips.
Yeah, I was like, okay, so how did that work? Who's help? Okay. I love it. Okay, what can you tell us about end of the month pushing? I know you guys pushed your booties off last month, but how did you just like kind of set that vision and stick with it? And how important is it to like go when you're close? Because I think a lot of people think, oh, well, like it'll be the exact same next month. Like, oh, I'll just get it next month because I'm already close. You know, I remember feeling that way like when I went diamond, and Aaron being like, no, bro, like you need you need to go. Like, so can you kind of like share like how you figured that out of when you were gonna go, and if you ever felt like you waited too long and how that affected, you know, your business?
Yeah. So I remember February, and that was a short month too. I got in my head and I was running the numbers. And I tell my team this all the time. You guys, stop running the goddamn numbers. Stop looking at your chart because the numbers are not going to change if you're not enrolling. So step away from your chart and start messaging people and start enrolling people, because that's what my team and I did all of February. You guys, we ran the numbers between our enrollments versus declines, and we were so like tedious about it, but to like not a good point. And so when the 25th hit, I was 2,000 less than I had originally anticipated even being, which was on the lower side. And so I thought I was going to be around 11,000, and I was around like 8,000, and this was February. And I let that discourage me to the point where I didn't promote in February because I thought I was going to be somewhere that I wasn't. And I let that, and I was just like, oh, I'll just do it next month. And you guys, don't wait. Okay? Because if you are 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 GV away, you can do it. And don't wait, because you don't know what declines are going to come next month. You don't know what people are going to stop ordering. Also, too, what we completely forgot about were the Mocha Dreams. The Mocha Dreams, you know, if you have someone that, you know, ordered a Thermofite X with the Mocha Dream combination, that gets taken off their auto shipment. That's 33 GB less for every single person that ordered Mocha Dreams if you're not taking care of your customers and asking them their needs and their wants. And so we also didn't account for all of that. And so you're never going to know where the numbers are going to be. So stop running them. Stop running the numbers. I tell my team that all the time. I hope they're on here. I hope Caroline is on here. Stop running the numbers, because you never know where you're going to be, and you just have to push and you just have to enroll, because the numbers aren't going to go up if your team or you aren't enrolling any customers. And so if you are only 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 GV away from a promotion, go for it. Do it this month, because you're never going to regret the work that you did. You're only going to regret the work that you didn't do. And I understand that, you know, it's hard and you just want to sleep. And like, I just want to go to bed tonight, but I know I can't, because I know I have girls that are pushing for promotions and I, as a leader, need to be there for them. And so I'm not sleeping because they're going and we're doing it. And another thing too that Rachel Hollis always says is success is the difference between what you want now and what you want most. I understand that some of you right now, you don't think that you can do it. You're getting in your head. You're thinking, oh, you know what? I got this next month. I'm going to push hard next month. But how many next months are there going to be that you keep telling yourself that you're going to push hard and that you're going to hit the promotion? That's what I did for the first, after I went Ruby until I went Diamond, that's what I did for like 5 months. I was like, oh, next month I got it. Oh, next month. I'll do it next month. And next month never came, you guys. I never did it the next month. So you just have to decide. And that's the one thing too, you guys. Literally, you can run the numbers all day long. You can message people all day long. You can go out and do your thing all day long. But if you do not make the simple decision that you are promoting, it is not going to happen. You could be a mass enroller, but if you don't decide that you're promoting, come hell or high water, you're hitting that rank, it's not going to happen. And so literally right now, if you're looking at your eSuite and your GV says 7,000 and what Diamond's 8,000, do it. Do it, for the love of God, promote. If you are at 10,000, guys, just push, because you're not going to regret just staying up 2 hours extra tonight and messaging 200 more people. you're not going to regret it. So just get the work done and just do it, and make that decision that you are going to promote. And if it helps anyone, my last little thing that I will say is, on the 25th of last month, you guys, my team's GV was 9,800. I ended on the 31st, it was 31 days, of last month. I ended at 16,185 GV. You guys, in 5 days, my team and I brought in that, I don't even know, what is that? Like
double.
7?
It's like basically double your volume.
Yeah, exactly. So, and it's insane what you can do when you decide to do it. So I enrolled about 40 customers last month. After the 25th were 23 of those customers, and the last 2 days of the month were 15 of those customers. So literally, you guys, anything is possible. Anything is possible. So start working in faith and not in fear, and make that decision to do it, and it'll happen.
Yes. I love that. You should just go, like, I can tell you in the Tony Robbins because you just gave a speech. So one thing I was reading today is there's this awesome book, and if any of you guys are looking for a book, this one's called Successful Women Think Differently. And she was talking about the power of sticking to it. Okay. And sticking to it, you guys, is one of those things. And she describes it is that the passion for stretching yourself and sticking to it when it's not going well is the hallmark of success. Okay. So what she means by this is what she talks about is many people who are successful, and I mean, many people who are talented, but not more so than another group, they actually are oftentimes less successful. Because if you've ever heard the quote, hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. Okay. So I know a lot of you guys have probably come to this business and you look at other people's profiles. I remember thinking this, you guys. I looked at all these people's profiles and I was like, these people's profiles and the words that they are writing, bro, this is a lot. I don't know if I can do that. I don't know how to take pretty pictures. Like, I was taking pictures of like the wall with like my daughter halfway in it. Like, I really didn't know what I was doing, but I learned, right? And I had that growth mindset of knowing that what I knew now isn't what the end of my growth. It wasn't just going to be that when I died. Like, that was going to be the beginning of what I knew, right? And so what she says is that successful women are not afraid to shed light on areas where they can improve. They practice with the great discipline the skills that they need in order to move forward. They make decisions and stick with them through faith and perseverance. But they know that when opportunity strikes, the only way to be lucky is to be prepared. You have to be prepared to be lucky, right? But preparation takes discipline. This is where it really gets good, okay? She says, the key to developing self-control is to remember that it's like a muscle. You build it up over time. Not many people are born with it, but when you first begin exercising it, it won't feel fun. It will hurt. You won't feel like doing it again the next day because your muscles are sore. Since it is like a muscle, you must remember that it is a very limited resource and it can become fatigued. But when practiced in challenging doses, the muscle becomes strength. Okay? So what that means, you guys, is that when you stick to it, it's hard at first. But the more you keep sticking to it, the easier it becomes. Right? Like, you guys, it's almost as if, like, when I make that decision, I just stick to it because I know that that's that decision and I've been through it before, and I grow that muscle. Okay. Like, I've already grown my muscle. So when I'm ready to use it, it doesn't become as sore because I'm almost immune to knowing that I'm just going to be tired for a little bit. Like, I'm just going to have that. And that is like my mindset and my expectation. Now, you guys, the first time I did this, I was like, whoa, no, Like this is hard, okay? But now it's like it's adrenaline and I like it and I look forward to it. It's like the first time you work out, like you don't want to go back to the gym. That's hard. But that's how you get better, right? And that's what she's saying. What do you want most versus what do you want now? And so it's this, you guys, even if you're new, this is the daily decisions. This is the decision that I don't want to post today. I don't know what I'm supposed to post about. I already posted 2 times yesterday. I'm already sick of posting, but you just do it. You just do it. Okay. You just do the messages. You just do that because guess what? That's what's going to get you what you joined this business for in the first place. Okay. And so having that daily discipline and sticking to it is what she's talking about, is knowing that, you know what? It's hard to beat a person that never gives up. It's hard to beat a person that doesn't quit. And so take it off the table and just go. Just do it. And you'll be amazed at what can happen. So this book is really good if anybody's looking for a book. Successful Women Think Differently. And so anyways, thank you for sharing that, Kayla. That was awesome. Tony Robbins' daughter. No, I'm just kidding. Okay. Who else was on here that was at the event? Let me find you. Cami, where are you at? Are you on here? I thought I saw you earlier.
Yes, I'm here.
Oh, hi. You're at the top. That's why I couldn't see you. Okay. So you went to conference too, but this was like your second event. So tell me what your favorite part was.
My favorite part was just like seeing everybody again. Like, guys, my first time at conference, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna meet all these people, and then there's people I would meet, and people would be like, oh, it's this person. I'd be like, okay, cool, and I gave them a hug, and then they're like millionaires, and I had no idea who they were. And now I know who people are, but it was so awesome to just be so relatable to people that look like celebrities to you. Like, at this event, I went up to Cami, and I just was like, hey, girl, and like she remembered me, and I just introduced her to my mom. And that's something that I like never would have done at conference, guys. I want to go up and talk to anybody. So that was just really the coolest part. And just to be around the fire, you know, when you go to events, you just have to kind of know what you're looking for and what's something that you're trying to better your business with. Because if you don't know what you're looking for, if you don't know what you need to work on, you're never going to find it. But if you go to an event and you're like, I really need to work on this, and this is what I'm hoping to get some more information about, and you get it. Like, it's so weird, but you get it. Like, this month has been such a big leadership month for me. And that's just kind of what I wanted to take away from this event, was leadership stuff. And I learned so much that I actually started incorporating it to my team on the way home last night. And now a girl that I signed last night is about to get her first 4 loyal customers. Like, it's that insane. And so that's just like the biggest thing, is just know what you're looking for, and just to be around the fire. It fuels you so much. You don't know until you go to an event, especially conference. Conference is so different, but even those little events when you see everybody and you just get to talk to them one-on-one, it just fills your cup so much. And you're just ready to go afterwards.
Yes. What was like your favorite thing that somebody said on a panel that you could like take for your business?
So the thing I struggled the most with, and I'm super honest about what I struggle with, was I would sign distributors and then I'd be like, okay, like, let's get your training in with the next 24, 48 hours. And people will always come up with excuses, right? Like, I can't do this. I'm busy. I'm working. I'm doing this. I'm doing that, whatever. So, I can't remember who said that she does this, but she doesn't, it's kind of like, I can't even think of her name, but anyways, so they don't add her to the team page, blah, blah. And then they just say, they have them do a post for you right away. So basically my new distributor that I signed last night, I had her do a post for me. And with that, she had like 12 comments, right? And so then I would put them in a 3-way chat. It would be me, them, and the distributor that I just signed. And I would walk them through the steps on how I message people and how I get to know their goals. And that's another big thing that I worked on this month, is not just trying to sell one product. I genuinely try to meet everybody's goals and expectations, because that's what's going to keep your customers happy and keep them buying. And so I walked them through how to do that. And then today, you know, she did another post of posts and she had like another 15 comments, but she was like, I think I've got it down. And then she was like, so how do I sign this person? How do I sign this customer? And I was at the hospital, but I just sent her a video and she was like, I got it, girl. I've never had a distributor sign their first 4 loyal customers within their first few days, let alone their first week, month, you know, like whatever. And so that was like my biggest takeaway was to have them do that instead of just start posting on their own. And it just from this one girl, it's been given amazing results.
I love that.
And I feel like it builds.
Yeah, because then they see you have the conversation. No, it's like delayed. I think that's why it's doing that. Okay, so why would you encourage somebody to get to an event? Like, what would you say to them? Like, if somebody was like, okay, well, yeah, I have one, but it's like 2 hours away. I just don't know, like, if I should go.
Honest. Okay, so from my personal point of view, guys, I had like a few $100s left in my bank account to go to conference this year. And I literally joined in my training. I joined in October for those of you that don't know. I joined Kelsey and I did our training and she was just like, so you're going to conference? It was just like, what? Like, what is this? But she like never really like gave me a decision. She was just like, no, you're going. She's like, here's your ticket. This is how much it is. Just go buy it now so you can get it cheaper. And we got $20 codes with it. And I was just kind of like, okay. And so I bought my conference code or conference ticket, right? And then I didn't buy my flight until like 2 or 3 weeks before we left because I was broke. I had no money. But everybody was like, no. And Kelsey was like, no, I don't care if it's your last $200. You better spend that last $200 on a plane ticket to get here. And that's literally what I did. And so I got there and I like knew nobody. I didn't know anything, but so when you're new and you haven't been to an event before, you see so many people on social media and these people look like celebrities. They have, you know, this life that you feel like you could never get to because when I joined, all I thought I could ever make with this business was $500 a month. But there's people making $30,000 a month. And I'm like, yeah, okay, like whatever, I'm sure, whatever, you know. But then you get to meet them in person and you get to talk to them in person and you get to just ask them questions. Like Stephanie Dunn, the #1 income earner, our first night there, I went up to her and I started asking her questions. And she gave me the greatest input that I still use to this day because that's how much of an influence these people have on us when we don't even know that they do. But you get to go talk to them and you get to just see that they're a real person and that they are so like simple. They're not, everybody's so kind. Everybody wants to help. And that's like the biggest thing too, is you just get to see that. Plus everybody's so fired up. The energy is insane. And even if you feel like, yeah, whatever, sure, the energy's cool. No, it's going to completely take you to a whole nother level. Guys, I was barely maintaining Ruby in January when I went to conference. February, I came home, promoted to Diamond, and then last month in March, I promoted to Double Diamond, and next month we'll be promoting to Triple as a team. And it's just insane because I would not have been able to do this, or my team wouldn't have been able to do this with me if I didn't go to conference. I would not have seen that vision for my life in this business.
Yeah, it's so nuts. So your mom was there.
Yeah.
If you're on here, I'm going to call her out and I'm going to ask her to share some of her tips. She's probably going to kill me, but it's fine.
I'm like looking at her right now. She's like, oh God.
I know. I'm going to unmute her. I'm going to mute you. Hold on. Okay. Hi, Penny.
Hello, Kelsey.
So don't kill me. But I want to know how your first event was, like what you thought of it.
I loved conference. I'm a pretty private person. I'm not a real big public person. So I really, even after buying my ticket, I hesitated even going Even the week before conference, I was like, I got my ticket, but I don't know if I'm going to go. I'm so glad I went. I don't regret any of it. Just being around everybody and feeling the love and the support that I know is always there. It meant everything. And it was game changer for me.
Yeah. So what was your favorite tip that was shared?
My favorite tip was probably the organization. I really struggle with the organization, and today one of the big things was how to integrate your Facebook friends list into Connect, and I have tried all day to do that and still haven't succeeded in doing that. But just what everybody does. I went to Target and I bought little note cards to send to all of my loyal customers now. I bought a journal so that I can start journaling, and a planner. So I plan to put all of that into play.
I love it. I love it. And so what was it, what you expected?
It was more than what I expected. I've never been a part of any organization. I had always worked the corporate world, never been involved in going to something that you go and you just feel so uplifted. From Stephanie Dunn, she's just so humble and so normal, and I mean, she's top income earner in the company, and she's just like you and I, and I totally loved that.
I think that that's like the coolest part too, is that you get to see people who are exactly like you. Like you're like, I mean, they might be, taller, shorter, have different hair, whatever, but like just seeing like, oh my gosh, these people are so normal. And if they're doing it, then like, why the heck can't I? Because everybody you see on highlight reel and you're like, is somebody posting for them? Like, how the heck do they have this much of a perfect life? But then like, when you see them, like, I remember I went to an event and I was like on a panel, and Denise Walsh was like visibly trembling before we went on stage. And I was like, you've been on stage how many times? But every time she was just like, I just get so nervous. And she said, but when I stop getting nervous, that's when I know that I need to do something different. And I was like, yeah, that's so true, because if you're not getting nervous, you're not really living, right? And if we don't have goals, then we really can't be happy. And so I guess, did this force you to dream bigger?
Absolutely. And just like what you said, where if they can do it, why can't I? And I know I can do it. So it gave me that confidence of hearing their stories. And it's kind of like you and Cammie had even told me before, in order for me to grow, I've got to step out of my comfort zone. And so I did that first by attending conference, and you are helping me do it because you totally made me step out of my comfort zone.
But if I would have told you before, you wouldn't have done it. So
you're right.
I couldn't tell you before, but you did great. So thank you for hopping on and sharing. But you're done now, so you can go take a deep breath. And you did awesome. So thank you for doing that. I appreciate it. I'm sure everybody else.
Thank you, Kelsey.
You're welcome. Okay, Anastasia, I know you're driving. I think you're driving, but I am going to call on you. Hello.
Yeah. Hi. If I start breaking up, you can just mute me, because that's just embarrassing.
Okay, so tell me what you loved about this event.
I liked how intimate it was. I'll be honest, like I was struggling super bad this weekend, just like with social anxiety, just because like I'm so used to just being like in front of my students and then like going home and hermiting and like working on my business. So like I felt really overwhelmed, but once I kind of settled in, like I just loved how intimate it was and how like personal you got to like meet people, and it wasn't just like such a big crowd. So I thought that was really nice to be able to connect with other distributors and people like I admire and look up to on a more like personal level.
I love that. And it's not so intimidating. Like, it's not like you're in like the stands. It's like you're just in a room with other people.
Yeah.
So tell me like what you learned that you're going to implement into your business, from like I can do that standpoint versus just being motivated.
I think for me, the biggest thing I took away was like the color personalities panel that they did at the very beginning. Just because my team went from like growing really slowly, and then at the beginning of this year, we ended up getting like a bajillion distributors that kind of just fell off because like I couldn't handle how fast they were coming in on top of my teaching job, and I was just kind of like, oh my gosh, like what is happening? And I felt like I had to just like train all of them the same way. But I think just from listening to that, I'm like, okay, like if I just get to know these people, like I don't have to sit one-on-one on Zoom with every single person, because maybe that's not how they learn. Maybe they want videos to be hands off and learn on their own and just ask questions. So I think because my team is growing so quickly, and because like I'm going for double next month, and that means more growth, that I can implement a more effective way of training my team so that they're learning at their capacity, and they're gonna start on fire because they know that I'm supporting them for who they are and how they want to learn and grow their business personally. So I think that's the biggest thing I took away, because I do anticipate and want to see so much growth in my business and my team.
Yeah, I love that. So tell me what like the most surprising thing about like the color personality that you learned was.
I think for me, I understood the color personalities, but I didn't really understand like the type of people that like when they blend. So like if I realized that I had a little bit of yellow in me this weekend, just because I was like, I'm so red and I'm so green, and I love like the charts and the numbers and like learning about the products, but I'm also super competitive. But also like once I kind of like saw how they talked about how colors can cross over and not one person is just one color, I was like, oh my gosh, when I talk to distributors and I like talk to customers that are having a hard time, like I turn a little yellow, I turn into a little bit of a softie. And I think that's something too. It's like I can't put everyone into a box. So I think that was the most surprising thing to me that like kind of gave me a light bulb, was the fact that I can't put everyone into just the red or just the green. Sometimes we have little things in our personalities that cross over, and I think that's just getting to know your team and just getting to know people, and that's what our business is all about. So that gives us the chance to really like go in and do that, instead of just being like, yep, you're red, you like money, or yes, you're green, you want to go learn on eSuite and on videos. So I think it's just really getting to know your people, and then just like I got to learn a little bit more about myself this weekend, which was kind of fun.
Yeah, I love that. That's so awesome. And I think it's so true. And for those of you guys who haven't had a chance to look at the color personality, you probably are like thinking we're speaking gibberish or some kind of different language. But all the color personality tests it's just like any other personality test, where you are basically, you get asked a couple questions. And I think like, I don't know how they do the assessment, but they do the assessment. And they basically say like you have a primary color and a secondary color. So I encourage all of you guys, if you just search color personality in the Lion Chasers, the test will pop up. I encourage all of you guys to take it because it helps you understand yourself, but it's also going to help you understand other people too, which is the cool thing, because I always say like the golden rule doesn't exist in this business, right? Like the treat other people how you want to be treated doesn't always apply, because some people like they don't want to have criticism the same way I want to have criticism, or they want to have different training than I want to have. And so the way that I act in business is I'm very red and blue, but in my relationship, I have a lot more yellow, right? And so you're going to have like sprinkles of every color, but you want to know how you are so that you can kind of let other people know and learn how to communicate in their language. Okay. Because the more people you can connect with, the more successful your business can be. So super insightful to do that. I love that, Anastasia. Thank you for sharing. And I'm going to see if there's anybody else on here that went to the event. I don't know if there is, but what I really wanted to tell you guys is that with events, I know they sound crazy. Like, I know it's one of those things where you're like, okay, I'll go here. We'll all be in our polo shirts, sitting at white round tables and eating a buffet. Like, it's not like that, you guys. Okay. It's almost like a concert to some degree, where like you just get hyped, and you hear inspiring people talk. And I think if I can tell you one thing about it is that energy is transferable. Okay. It's contagious. If you're around somebody who's negative, you're going to be like, okay. Like, if you even go into the store, you guys, and the cashier is rude, like, you're kind of like, oh, and you just like affects your day, right? Same thing with positive energy. And so the more you're around people, and for me, what it did is it helped my belief get higher. Is I just saw all these completely normal people, and I was like, holy crap, like, this actually works for multiple people, like not just unicorns, but multiple people that are just like me. And so I encourage you guys, go look on the events page on your Connect app and see what events are closer to you. Get your butt to Green Carpet in September. Start saving up your Fast Start money and put it towards Green Carpet, which is like a mini conference. And that's going to be in September in Florida. Like, hello, who doesn't want to go to Florida? Especially in September. And so that is just going to be an awesome time for you to kind of learn about it. There's one in Austin, Texas, in June, but I think it's sold out. But these events are just amazing ways for you to get bits and pieces of information, kind of be immersed in it versus feeling like you're getting bits of that you're reading, and that you're going to like really just be overwhelmed if your head is just in the team pages. Right. So you want to get around people who are talking about it. So, oh, Tracy, I think I'm pretty sure I'm going to Austin, but if you definitely want to go to Green Carpet, and yes, you can still watch it online, which is an amazing thing that you can do. So last thing before we go, I'm going to touch on this really quickly. I was actually on a Zoom before this with some leadership from a different team, and they were, we were talking about some stuff. And one thing I want to encourage you guys, because all of you guys really are emerging leaders. If you're not a leader already, you're an emerging leader. You guys, I'm still an emerging leader, okay? Like, I'm still growing. I'm still learning. I'm still, like, adjusting to different things, different, like, people on my chart, different, like, just kind of stages in my business. And so one thing that I've learned that I think can really help you connect with people and with your team is really understanding the power of a phone call, really understanding the power of not texting somebody on your team and calling them. Okay. Number one, it's going to save you a lot of time. But number two, I just encourage you, like, these people that are on your team, when you get, a business partner, you really want to connect with them. Okay. And how do you really connect with people? Like, how do you actually connect with people? And somebody told me this quote is, people aren't going, like, you get the permission to hear somebody else's story when you share yours. Okay. That doesn't mean unload like a bunch of like random crap on them. But what it does mean is maybe just share your story of how you got started. If you haven't already, maybe share your story of what this business you really want, what you want it to do for you. Okay. But as a leader, you do not have to be perfect. Okay. If you have somebody on your team, the worst thing you can do is actually appear that you're perfect. because then you're setting this impossible standard that they're like, I can't be like that. Like, I can't do this business. And so the best leaders, you guys, are vulnerable and they're real and they're authentic. So if you're getting into leadership and you feel like, I have no idea how to take my business to the next level, here's the thing. You can't motivate people. Okay? Motivation is a lie. It doesn't really exist. You feel motivated for a second, and then the next second, you're not going to be motivated. But what you can do is you can truly inspire people. And how you inspire people is by letting people know how much you care about them. Okay? And you can't, like, I was telling this to another ambassador today. Sorry, my husband's snacking around if you're hearing all that in the background. And so one thing that I want you guys to truly understand is people do not really care about how much you know in this business at all until they know how much you care about them. And so you need to make sure that that comes first, that we aren't just here to help people like be better in this business. We're truly here to help people become better humans. Okay. And if you have that mentality of not just being like a business mentor and not a business leader, but being a true like life leader, like, and helping, you know, them, the only way you're really going to connect to them is through something that maybe went wrong. Maybe you're telling them about kind of some hiccups that you had, but that went well. Okay. That like how you turned it around, how you switched it. Okay. And so leadership is so important in this business, but do not make it voodoo. Okay. Do not make it harder than it needs to be. Okay. Leadership is really honestly believing in other people and believing in yourself. Okay. And if you have those things, I encourage you to start letting people know how much you care about them. You guys, when I was first joining this business, words of affirmation was like the last thing I knew how to do. Okay. Like when people would be like, I love your shirt. I'd be like, it's my sister's, thanks. But I look, no, not cute in it. Like I did not know how to take a compliment. I hated when people would give me words of affirmation. Like, and I even like would tell Brian, like, you know, we can't be that couple that just says, I love you all the time. And now I'm like, you better say it, you know? But I think that one thing that you have to realize, and this is like the test that I really want you guys to have, is if there's people on your team that your upline came to you and you were like, and I was like, tell me about that person. And you're like, oh my gosh, dude, Kayla is so awesome. She has the best energy. She cares about her team. She's always positive. Like she is just one of those people that like you love to be around because her energy is contagious and she just pours belief into her team. Okay, that's great that I feel that way about Kayla. But my question to you is, when is the last time you told that person that? When is the last time you told the person that you're talking about that what you love about them? Okay? Because we're always so quick to be like, my team's not working. This is what I don't like about my team. This is frustrating, right? And it is. It can be. I'm not saying that it's not. But why are you focusing on something that you can't control? Okay? But what you can control is how much you love them and how much you pour into them and how much time you spend really digging at the problem. And this is, I swear you guys, I'm giving you gold right now, because if I would have known this, I would have promoted to ambassador 2 years ago. I'm not even kidding you. Okay. And I was honestly talking to a girl who's making just as much money as me at Presidential. She's amazing. A ton of people look up to her in this business, but she was just like, dude, like, I wish like I would have talked to you like a long time ago. And I'm like, I know, because I was telling her she was getting so frustrated with some of her team. And she was like, I just don't understand why they're not working. Like they're coming to me and they're frustrated for where they're not. Okay. But they're not doing the work it takes to get there. Have anybody ever felt like that? You have people on your team complain because they're not at a certain point, but they're really not doing the work that it takes to get there. Okay. And I said, because you're asking them about Are you messaging? Are you posting? Are you doing this? Are you doing that? And they're even saying, maybe they're being honest and they're being like, no, not really as much as I should. Stop getting frustrated and start seeking to understand why. There is a reason why people aren't doing it. Okay? Figure out that reason and you will be able to pull that root out. But you can't just continue to cut the surface, right? To cut the grass, because the grass is going to grow back because there's a deeper rooted problem. And so when you talk to them, you motivate them, it might come back for a second, but it's not going to come back for the whole time. Okay? And so when you are dealing with new people, don't get frustrated with them. Okay? If you have somebody on your team that just joined and they're not doing anything, ask them if they're scared. Guess what? You felt like that when you first joined, right? You were nervous to post. You were scared about what other people were saying. So get and understand where they're coming from, and you can really help solve the problem and create other leaders, because they're going to understand why they're feeling that way. A lot of people don't even understand why they're feeling that way. Okay? And I still deal with it. Diamonds still deal with that. Doubles still deal with that. And we understand. Like, sometimes I don't understand. I'm like, what is going on with me? Why do I feel this way? Okay. And like, I'll have to call Aaron and be like, what is happening? Like, I don't understand. And I'm sure a lot of people are frustrated with themselves just as much as you might be frustrated with them. And so I encourage you to seek to understand before you try to be understood. Okay. Seek to understand other people before you try to get them to understand you. Okay? Because if you can understand where they're coming from, they're going to understand that, and you're going to be able to give them so much more grace. Okay? So that is just my little last tip that I wanted to leave you with, because I think so many times I hear people saying like, oh my gosh, my team's not working. Oh my gosh, I don't understand like why I can't get anybody on my team to work, or why people aren't doing this or that. But I promise, once you start to just understand people and really get to the core of what's happening, it's gonna take your whole business to the next level. But let's finish out the month strong. I'm telling you, you have so much time. Like, literally a day and 2 hours is an eternity in the It Works world. Okay, I know it might not seem like it, but I used to be like, oh my gosh, there's 20 seconds left on the clock in Brian's game, and he'd be like, babe, that's a lifetime. That's like 5 different plays. I'm like, yeah, you're right. You're right. And so I'm telling you, this is like a lot of time, and so much can happen, and you're going to surprise yourself if you just do as much as you can, because then God will fill in the rest. So I love you guys. I'm super excited, and I know that we're all killing it. I can't wait to see everybody who promotes. You're going to feel so good when your promotion picture is announced and when you see your paycheck on the freaking 8th. And if you're not promoting this month, you guys, get that game plan right now. Do not wait until the 1st of May to pull out your promotion game plan. Your promotion starts right now for next month. You have a game plan, and on the 1st of May, you're executing it. No questions asked. Okay? Don't wait till the 1st to get a game plan. Just like we don't have to wait for New Year's to come up with a resolution. Like, have that plan set, and you will not regret being prepared. So I love you guys. Hope you have an amazing night, and I'll post the recording in the team page. Bye.